You should see me in the crowd. I'm gonna run this nothing child. Watch me make 'em bow. One by one. Count my cards, watch them fall. Blood on a marble wall. I like the way they all scream.
Hey guys, I'm Val. So today I'm going to be trying to help all the new players that are coming with Xbox Game Pass. This is going to be a beginner guide and tips that I wish I knew earlier. But first, you're going to create a new character. You're going to click the red button. It'll bring you to this campsite with 5 characters around it. The classes are Barbarian, Necromancer, Sorcerer, Rogue, and Druid. It's really up to your playstyle or preference. If you want to be a melee bruiser type build, a summoner, caster, fight from range. But if you cannot decide, Barbarian has been really strong this season, and Sorcerer is always a safe bet in my opinion. I'm gonna go with Druid just because that's what I play the most. Today we're sponsored by Mobalytics, and this is my first sponsored video, so I would like to thank Mobalytics. It's a very useful website, not just for Diablo. There's other games including League of Legends, Teamfight Tactics, Valorant, Destiny, and Lost Ark. They are expanding to more games as we speak. They also have an app that will help you with builds and other useful information. Like always, I'll have a link in the video description, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. After you pick what class you want to be, you can customize your appearance. There's different face variations, skin tones, eye color, hairstyles, facial hair, and color. Just make your character look however you want. After you're done creating your character, the next decision you're going to have to make is if you want to play seasonal or eternal. The way I look at it is seasonal is ladder and eternal is non-ladder. And all seasonal characters will end up being eternal characters after the season is over. I would suggest playing seasonal though, because there's more content and more people to play with. After a season is over, your seasonal characters will default to the Eternal Realm. If you don't have a lot of time to play, you could still focus on that character. After this, you're going to have to decide what difficulty you want to play on. You start off with 2 options, Adventurer and Veteran. Veteran's tempting to new players. You get 20% more gold and experience. But you should stay with Adventurer. It is the easiest difficulty, and you will level faster because you're killing speed. If you're killing everything faster in Adventurer mode, you're going to be gaining more experience anyways. I feel like Veteran will just slow you down. And there's not a lot of difference between these 2 modes for item drops, so it's mainly about leveling and completing the campaign so you can unlock the other difficulties. In my opinion, there's a few things that should be prioritized, especially on your first character. The first being campaign. Once you beat campaign, your other characters will not have to do it. You only have to do it once per season, once on hardcore and once on eternal. The yellow quest are your campaign quest. You can track them with the map and they're on the right side of the screen as well. After you complete the quest, the next one will pop up and it just leads you through the game. Your next priority should be Altars of Lilith. There are ways to track this. There's interactive maps online and there's guides. Every altar gives you a set reward. It's either a base stat like strength, dexterity, willpower, intelligence, or it gives you maximum obol capacity or paragon points. The buff to your character, and it applies to all other characters. The altars are just hidden shrines that need to be found throughout the world. All you have to do to collect them is find them, and all progress is saved across all your characters. Once you collect them all, you don't have to do it again. And the final thing that should be focused on is Renown. It also gives you rewards like the Altars of Lilith, and it applies to all characters. It gives you skill points, paragon points, and other rewards. Renown is basically reputation in each zone, and it's increased by Altars of Lilith, collecting waypoints, defeating strongholds, side quests, areas discovered, and side dungeons. After you're done with the campaign and collecting Altars of Lilith, I would focus on completely discovering the zones and side dungeons. Side dungeons also give you an aspect that you could use forever in your codex. There's also side quests, but I would leave those for the last option. For combat, you have 6 abilities. First, you're going to start out with a basic and then a core ability, and you have 4 more slots to customize your character. The skill tree is where you apply your skill points and choose how you want to build your character. And at level 50, you will unlock the Paragon board, which is further customization for your character. And there's a few other important tips to know. Once you get to the main town of Kiovashad, there's going to be vendors that will sell you gear that reset every hour, so you can check there for upgrades. And there's a blacksmith that gives you the option to salvage gear for crafting materials. You should salvage everything for majority of the game until you feel like you have a comfortable amount of crafting materials built up. You can upgrade your gear at the blacksmith and your jewelry at the jeweler, but I would stop before the max rank and just hold on to all your forgotten souls until you get a better understanding of the game. They're just too valuable at the moment, and this will be changing in season 4. There's a jeweler. You can craft gems and manage sockets on your items. I would not waste socketing materials because you mainly get them from world bosses. Save it for better gear. But if gear does come with sockets, don't worry about wasting gems. Craft them and putting them in your gear. You're going to have an abundance of gems later on. Next, there's a Occultist. This is where you craft gear. You can only reroll one stat on each item, so I would suggest not worrying about this until you know what stats you're looking for your class and your build. On top of that, I would not reroll anything unless it already has at least 2, preferably 3 out of 4 of the stats that are required. This is very costly, and I would not spend a lot of time of re-rolling gear at lower levels because you're going to replace it relatively quickly. You want to conserve your materials as much as possible. This whole crafting system will be changing in Season 4 to address this problem. At the moment, when you salvage an aspect, you only get 1 use out of it. Next season, they're going to make it when you salvage an aspect, it's going to be added to your codex with unlimited uses to solve a lot of issues in the game at the moment. They're also addressing the crafting system as well. But as of now, conserving your crafting materials is the best thing you can do. Don't waste them on low-level gear or gear that's going to be replaced right away. The next important vendor is the Alchemist. Here you can make elixirs, refine your resources, incenses, and you could craft uber uniques in the late game. The main use of this vendor is elixirs. You're going to want to create them and use them as soon as possible. The lowest level one you could get is level 5. This will give you a 5% boost to your experience. It lasts for 30 minutes. But you want to have elixirs on at all times to increase your leveling speed. Finally, there's the Purveyor of Curiosities. If you play Diablo 2, this is basically gambling. You're gambling for aspects or upgraded gear. You don't pay with gold though. You pay with Murmuring Obols. These are obtained by completing events or certain side quests. You can tell it's an event because it's gonna have an orange circle around it on the map. After you complete the campaign, there's gonna be Capstone dungeons. One at level 50 that's gonna unlock the 3rd difficulty, which is Nightmare, and one at level 70 to unlock the final difficulty, Torment. Once in the 3rd difficulty or higher, there's going to be random events around the world that are called Helltides, which is only up in one part of the map at a time. And this is where you get valuable crafting materials such as the Forgotten Souls I was speaking about earlier and Fiend Roses. Helltides is a very good place to level and upgrade your gear. On top of the normal grind of the game and the RNG of loot, there's chests that take a certain amount of aberrant cinders to open. Those are pretty much guaranteed drops. It's not one per enemy killed, but you need a fixed amount to open chests, and you can target farm what you're looking for. So there's different chests for all types of gear. There's also a mystery chest that gives you more drops. It just costs a lot as well. You should be spending a lot of time here till the very end game. And there's also nightmare dungeons and vaults that open up. This is how you get glyphs for your Paragon board and the experience to level them up. This guide is meant to be more of an introduction and basic guide for the beginning of the game. If you are looking for more information on the late game and on these specific events and nightmare dungeons, vaults, the late game in its entirety, I will make more guides for those. There's also a list of helpful websites. First one is Mobalytics. You could use it to look up builds and find help. Another helpful website is Helltides.com. It shows the location of the mystery chest, the living still chest, the events that are ongoing, and the Helltides boss. Another useful website is Diablo 4 Live. It shows you what to gamble your obols on to increase your chances of getting the aspects that you are looking for. And the final site is Diablo Trade, trading website. You trade rares and boss materials for gold. Helps you get what you're looking for faster. These are more endgame oriented websites, but Mobalytics will help at all times. Thanks again to Mobalytics for sponsoring this video. If you guys have any questions or feedback, I'll answer it down below in the comments. Appreciate your guys' support, and I will see you next time.